Hi everyone, it's Jin from CodesMind. In this tutorial, I will discuss how to use the char type in Java. Go ahead and run your netbeans. Let us create a program called char type. Char type. Go down to the main method. First, we need to enter the data type. In our case, it will be char. Next, we are going to name our variable called myAge. Then end it with a semicolon, then press enter. Just like what we did in the previous lesson, we will assign the value to myAge as 26. And we will be showing the value on our screen. System.println. Let's run this program. As you may have noticed, that instead of seeing the number 26, you are seeing a square box. That is because the character represents the decimal number 26. To have a better understanding, let us step out from NetBeans for a moment and go to the internet browser. Search for Java Unicode characters chart. Try to find the Unicode chart from secwiz.edu, which is this one for my case. Click on the link. As I mentioned, 26 is a decimal representation of a character. And if you look at the chart, decimal 26 falls under Basic Latin. Click on Basic Latin and then search for decimal 26. So decimal 26. So here we see 26. The number on the very left is the hexadecimal representation of the character. The column in the middle is the description of the character. The column to the very right is the visual representation of the character. And as you can see, it is a square. Let us try to find a much meaningful character that we can use in our program. We can use the exclamation mark. Here it is showing the decimal representation is 33. Let's try that in our program. Let's run it. Sure enough, it is showing the exclamation mark in our output screen. We are not limited on using decimal numbers to represent a character. We can also use the hexadecimal. Let us go back to the chart and quickly copy the hex representation of the character. Number 33, let's grab this one. Copy and paste it in our program. Let's run this. As you can see, it's still showing the exclamation mark character. You can also just type the character directly to assign a value. To do that, we start off with a single quotation, followed by the character we wanted to assign. Then we have to close it with a single quotation again. Let's run this. As you can see, we are still seeing the same results. You can also use a simple operation and reassign the values to our variable. To do that, just enter myAge plus equal to 1. What this statement does is take the decimal representation of the character and add 1 on top of it. So if we look at the chart, 34 is showing the quotation mark. Let's run this program again. As you can see, it's showing the quotation mark character. We can also add by character. Let's try this. My age plus equal to quotation exclamation mark. What do you think the output is going to be? Let's run the program. Oops, I forgot something. Okay, let's run the program again. We are seeing an output of capital C. Why is that? That's because the last decimal value of my age was 34. Then we added the decimal representation of the exclamation mark, which is 33. And then we ended up with a sum of 67. So, if we look back to our chart and see the character under 67, we should be able to see the capital letter C. Some key differences if we compare char to the byte type that we have discussed in the previous tutorial. One is that there's no way for us to determine the minimum and maximum value that we can assign to a char type. So for byte, we use byte.mean underscore value. There's no equivalent command for a char. The last differences I wanted to point out is that we cannot use scanner to prompt the user for input just for a char. That's it for this tutorial. Thanks everybody for watching. Let's high five and see you soon.